Dear learners, welcome to MOOC's online course on Public Financial Administration. I am Dr. S. Parthiban from University of Madras, Department of Politics and Public Administration. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about finance in urban local government. Urban local government in India comprises municipalities and municipal corporations responsible for local administration in cities and towns. Governed by the 74th Amendment to the Constitution, these bodies have elected representatives and play a crucial role in urban planning, infrastructure development and service delivery. Finance in urban local government in India involves municipal corporations and municipalities managing funds for city administration. Financial transparency, accountability and capacity building are essential for effective financial management in urban local governance. You will have an overview of 74th Constitutional Amendment Act that deals with urban local bodies, the objectives, constitutional provisions. Finance in urban local government. A significant part of national income originates from urban areas. Efforts must be made to maintain and enhance urban productivity, which in turn depends on the level and quality of urban infrastructure. Rapid urbanization has increased the functional responsibilities of municipalities in India. To meet the scale and challenge of urbanization, municipal governments are always looking for additional funds from various sources. The demand for urban infrastructure service has increased and is likely to accelerate further due to rising personal incomes, rapid growth of population and general increase in economic activities. Inability of the municipal governments to meet the rising demand would adversely affect growth prospects of the economy. Now let us see how finance is important in local governments. Finance plays a crucial role in the functioning of local governments in India. Local governments, primarily in the form of municipalities and panchayats, have the responsibility to provide various essential services to the residents of their jurisdictions. Here are several ways in which finance is important for local government in India. To start with, first, service delivery. Local governments are responsible for providing basic services such as water supply, sanitation, waste management, roads and public health. Adequate financial resources are essential to ensure the proper functioning and maintenance of these services. Second, infrastructure development. Local governments need funds to plan and execute infrastructure projects. This includes the construction and maintenance of roads, bridges, public buildings and other essential infrastructure to improve the overall quality of life for residents who are living in the urban areas. Third, urban planning. Finance is crucial for urban planning and development. Local governments need funds to create and implement master plans, zoning regulations and land use policies that contribute to sustainable and organized urban growth. Fourth, social welfare programs. Local governments often run social welfare programs to address the needs of marginalized and economically disadvantaged communities. This may include programs related to education, healthcare and poverty alleviation, all of which require financial resources. Administrative expenses. Local governments need funds to cover administrative expenses such as salaries for municipal staff, maintenance of government offices and other operational costs. Local economic development. Financial resources are essential for promoting local economic development initiatives. This includes supporting small and medium-sized enterprises, encouraging entrepreneurship and creating an environment conducive to business growth. Disaster management. Local governments play a crucial role in disaster management and relief efforts. Having sufficient funds is vital for preparing and responding to natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes or cyclones. Property tax and local revenue. One of the primary sources of revenue for local governments is property tax. Efficient collection and management of property tax revenue are critical for funding local projects and services. Additionally, local governments may generate revenue through fees, fines and other local taxes. Fiscal decentralization. The concept of fiscal decentralization involves the transfer of financial resources and decision making powers from higher levels of government to the local level. This empowers local governments to have more control over their finances and better address the specific needs of their communities. In summary, finance is integral to the effective functioning of local governments in India. Efficient fiscal management and revenue generation are key factors in ensuring the sustainability and success of local government initiatives. In the next slide, I have depicted the finances of urban local bodies. So this slide gives a clarity about how funds flow from central government and the state government to the local bodies. Now let's have a look at the constitutional provisions relating to finances in urban local government. These constitutional provisions lay the foundation for financial autonomy and decentralization of powers to local governments in India, ensuring their active participation in local governance and development. The finance commissions at the state level play a crucial role in recommending the distribution of finances between the state governments and local bodies. Under Article 243W, powers to impose taxes by and funds of the municipalities have been mentioned, which grants powers to municipalities to levy taxes, duties, tolls and fees, and specifies the allocation of funds between the state government and the municipalities. Under Article 243X, which states about Constitution of Finance Commission to review financial positions, gives provisions for state governments to constitute a finance commission to review the financial position of municipalities and makes recommendations. Under Article 243Y, which deals with audit of accounts of municipalities, provides for the audit of the accounts of municipalities. Now let's discussion about types of revenues in finance in urban local government. Internal and external finance refer to the sources of funding available to urban local governments for their operations, projects and initiatives. These sources can be classified based on whether they originate from within the local government itself, which is internal finance, or from external sources outside the local government, considered as external finance. Now let's discuss in detail about internal and external finance. To start with, in internal finance, local taxes. Revenue generated through local taxes such as property taxes, sales taxes and income taxes is a primary source of internal finance for urban local governments. These taxes are levied on individuals, businesses and properties within the jurisdiction of the local government. User charges and fees. Local governments may charge fees for various services they provide, such as waste management, water supply, sewerage and other utilities. These fees contribute to internal revenue. Under internal finance, investment income. Urban local governments may earn income through investments in financial instruments such as bonds, stocks or other securities. The returns on these investments contribute to internal finance. Grants and donations. While grants can come from external sources, some local governments may have local grant programs or accept donations from local businesses or philanthropic organizations, contributing to internal funding. Surplus from operations. If a local government's revenue from taxes and fees exceeds its operational expenses, the surplus can be considered internal finance. This surplus can be reinvested in infrastructure development and other projects. Now let's have a discussion on external finance. Under the external finance, intergovernmental transfers. Urban local governments often receive funds from higher levels of government, such as the national or regional government. These transfers can be in the form of grants, subsidies or specific purpose allocations. Borrowing, which again comes under the external finance. The local governments may borrow money through the issuance of bonds or loans to finance capital projects or address budget deficits. Debt financing is a form of external finance that involves repayments over time. Foreign aid and loans. Some urban local governments may receive financial assistance or loans from international organizations, foreign governments, or bilateral and multilateral agencies to support specific projects or initiatives. Public-private partnerships, which is popularly called as PPP model, collaboration with private entities for the provision of public services or infrastructure projects can bring in external finance. This involves private investment and expertise in exchange for revenue sharing agreements or other financial arrangements. Development assistance under external finance. International aid organizations and development agencies may provide financial support to urban local governments for projects related to poverty alleviation, infrastructure development, or other community initiatives. Corporate social sponsorships and partnerships. Urban local governments can partner with private corporations for sponsorship of events, public spaces, or specific projects, providing an additional source of external finance. Understanding and effectively managing both internal and external finance is crucial for urban local governments to meet the growing demands of their communities, maintain infrastructure, and ensure the provision of essential services. Striking a balance between these sources is often necessary for financial sustainability and resilience. Now, let's have view on sources of revenue under urban local government. Urban local governments derive the revenue from various sources to fund their activities and provide essential services to residents. The specific revenue sources can vary based on local regulations, governance structures, and economic conditions. Urban local governments in India, often referred to as municipalities, generate revenue through various tax and non-tax sources to fund their operations, infrastructure development, and the provision of services. Here's an overview of tax and non-tax revenue sources for urban local government in India. To start with, let's discuss about tax revenue. Under the tax revenue, there are various types of taxes. To start with, property tax. Municipalities levy property tax on the value of properties within their jurisdiction. It is a significant source of revenue for urban local bodies. Professional tax. Municipalities can impose a tax on the income earned by professionals, including individuals working in businesses and trades within the municipal limits. Trade license fee. Businesses operating within the municipality are required to obtain trade licenses, and the fees are charged for the issuance of these licenses. Advertisement tax. Taxes are levied on advertisements displayed within the municipal limits, including on billboards, hoardings, and other public spaces. Entertainment tax. Municipalities may collect taxes on various forms of entertainment, such as cinemas, amusement parks, and cultural events. Vehicle tax. Taxes are imposed on vehicles, and municipal bodies may collect revenue through vehicle entry taxes and other related charges. Betterment levy. Municipalities may impose a betterment levy on properties that have experienced an increase in value due to the development of infrastructure projects. Development charges. Fees are collected from developers and builders for the development of new areas and infrastructure projects. Non-tax revenue. Under the non-tax revenue, there are various charges, fines, and leases. To start with, let's discuss about user charges. Municipalities collect charges for various services provided to the public, including water supply, sewage disposal, solid waste management, and parking. Fees and fines. Fees are charged for services like issuing birth and death certificates, marriage licenses, and fines are imposed for violations of municipal regulations. Rents and leases. Municipalities generate revenue by leasing or renting out municipal properties, market spaces, and other facilities. Sale of assets. Income is generated by selling surplus of unused municipal assets, including land and buildings. Grants and subsidies. Municipalities receive grants and subsidies from higher levels of government, state and central governments, for specific projects and programs. Interest and dividends. Municipalities may earn income through interest on investments and dividends from financial assets. Donations and contributions. Municipalities may receive donations and contributions from individuals, businesses, and organizations for specific projects or community initiatives. Parking fees. Charges for parking spaces within the municipality contribute to non-tax revenue. The specific revenue mix can vary between municipalities based on factors such as their size, population, economic activities, and the level of urbanization. Municipalities also operate within the legal and regulatory frameworks set by the respective state governments, and revenue collection mechanisms may differ across states in India. Now let's discuss about the State Finance Commission and its role. India has state finance commissions that play a crucial role in the financial matters related to local governments, including urban local bodies. State finance commissions are established by the respective state governments as per the provisions of the Constitution of India. Here are key points regarding the role and functions of state finance commissions in the context of urban local governments. Constitutional mandate. The state finance commissions are constituted under Article 243I of the Constitution of India. The purpose is to review the financial position of local bodies in the state and make recommendations regarding the principles governing the distribution of finances between the state government and the local bodies, devolution of funds to local bodies. Similar to the National Finance Commission, the State Finance Commission recommends the formula for sharing the state's own revenues, grant in aid from the states, and any other financial resources between the state government and the local bodies. Allocation to urban local bodies. The recommendations of the State Finance Commission influence the distribution of funds among different tiers of local government, including urban local bodies such as municipal corporations, municipal councils, and other entities. Determination of grants. The State Finance Commission determines the grants that are to be given to local bodies based on various criteria. This includes considering factors such as population, area, and revenue potential, among others. Review of financial position. State finance commissions review the financial position of local bodies, taking into account their own resources and the assistance they are likely to receive from the state government. Recommendations for fiscal decentralization. The state finance commissions often make recommendations to strengthen fiscal decentralization and local governance. This includes suggestions for improving the revenue raising capacity of local bodies and ensuring financial autonomy. Ensuring accountability. The state finance commissions may also play a role in ensuring financial accountability and transparency in the functioning of local bodies, including urban local governments. Periodic review. Similar to the National Finance Commission, the state finance commissions are constituted at regular intervals, usually every 5 years, to provide updated recommendations based on the changing needs and priorities. It is important for urban local bodies to engage with recommendations of the State Finance Commission and work collaboratively with state governments to ensure the effective utilization of funds for local development and governments. The specifics can vary from state to state, so it's recommended to refer to the relevant State Finance Commission reports and guidelines for the most accurate and current information. Now let's discuss about the challenges faced by urban local government relating to financial aspects. Urban local governments face several challenges when it comes to revenue generation. These challenges can vary based on the specific context and characteristics of each city, but some common issues include limited revenue sources. Urban local governments often have a limited set of revenue sources. They may heavily rely on property taxes, which can be insufficient to meet the growing needs of urban areas. Informal economy. In many urban areas, a significant portion of economic activities occurs in the informal sector. This informal economy may not be adequately captured in the tax net, leading to revenue leakage. Property tax collection issues. Property tax is a major revenue resource for urban local governments, but issues such as outdated property assessments, inadequate valuation mechanisms, and tax evasion can hinder effective collection. Poor tax compliance. Low levels of tax compliance can be a significant challenge. This may be due to a lack of awareness among taxpayers, distrust in the government's ability to utilize funds efficiently, or a perception of receiving inadequate public services in return for taxes paid. Population growth, urbanization. Rapid population growth and urbanization can strain existing infrastructure and services, requiring additional revenue to fund new projects and maintain existing facilities. However, generating additional revenue to keep up with this growth can be challenging. Dependency on intergovernmental transfers. Some urban local governments heavily rely on transfers from higher levels of government. This dependency can make them vulnerable to changes in policy or funding priorities at the national or regional levels. Administrative capacity. Insufficient administrative capacity within local governments can lead to ineffective revenue collection. This includes issues related to staffing, technology, and overall governance capacity. Corruption. Corruption in local government institutions can undermine revenue generation efforts. Bureaucratic red tape, bribery, and embezzlement can divert funds away from their intended purposes. Lack of innovation. Urban local governments may face challenges in adopting innovative revenue generation strategies. This could include exploring alternative financing mechanisms or leveraging technology for more efficient tax collection. Economic downturns. Economic downturns can impact the ability of individuals and businesses to pay taxes. Local governments may experience a decline in revenue during periods of economic recessions. Finance in urban local government in India is influenced by national and state level mechanisms. The Finance Commission determines the distribution of funds between the state and the central governments, indirectly impacting urban local bodies. State finance commissions further allocate funds within states, emphasizing fiscal autonomy for urban local governments. Urban local bodies collaborate with state governments to access and utilize allocated funds for local development and governance. Way forward to address the challenges faced by urban local government relating to financial issues. To address these challenges, urban local governments often need to implement comprehensive reforms, improve governance and transparency, invest in technology, and explore diverse revenue sources to create a more resilient financial base. Public awareness campaigns and community engagement can also play a crucial role in fostering a culture of tax compliance and accountability. Dear learners, I hope this lecture on finance in urban local bodies would have given you a lot of clarity about how finance is important and what are the challenges in generating revenue in urban local government. Thank you.